So how is it going, guys, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 video. And today I thought I'd do a video kind of going over everything we know so far about the upcoming Far Harbor DLC. There's quite a few things that I haven't yet covered on the channel, and instead of just covering those separately, I thought I'd go ahead and compile everything into one video just to keep you guys as updated as I can about this awesome DLC in general. Also want to thank you guys again for your continued support on the channel. The likes have been going crazy, so if we can try and keep that up again today by smashing 2,000 likes, that would be awesome as well. And let's get straight into the video. So with Automatron and Wasteland Workshop DLC packs now available for everyone to go ahead and download and play, I guess a lot of people out there can now turn their heads to the upcoming Far Harbor expansion. And to this point, Bethesda have given players a little bit of background related to this upcoming DLC, indicating that, it will be taking you to a brand new unknown island known as Far Harbor that is teeming with radiation and inhabited by more than a few dangerous creatures. But beyond all the usual stuff and additions that players can usually expect from a new expansion pack, there is one thing about Far Harbor in particular that sets it apart from plenty of other Bethesda DLC packs, and that is its size. In an earlier interview with IGN, director Todd Howard actually revealed that Far Harbor will be adding a landmass that is larger than even the one featured by the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Shivering Isles, which was one of the biggest DLCs that Bethesda have ever actually dropped, making Far Harbor the biggest landmass expansion that Bethesda have ever created. But what exactly is inside of there is still currently unknown. There was also a tweet from Pete Hines, I'll bring those up for you guys on screen, stating that it is bigger in size than Shivering Isles. However, it may be the biggest, but it doesn't feature as much content as Shivering Isles itself. Todd Howard actually stated that, Far Harbor is the largest, but we kind of priced that based on what we've done before. So you can take a look at Far Harbor and say, well, even though the landmass is bigger, it doesn't have as much content as Shivering Isles, which was $30, but it has more than Skyrim's Dawnguard, which was $20, just to give you guys a bit of a rough estimate of the type of content or how big this DLC is actually going to be. And of course, that moves into the price point being $25 for the DLC itself. Of course, they're being the most expensive because it is going to be the biggest. And talking about biggest, it's actually 2.68 gigabytes in size. This was actually put out there the other day on the Steam database, and 2.68 gigabyte is a pretty big amount. In comparison, you can look at Automatron, which I believe was around a gigabyte in size, just to give you guys once again a bit of an estimate there. But anyway, moving on, once again, it's fair to say that Far Harbor is going to feature a bunch of new creatures. In fact, earlier this year, the data mining efforts of a Reddit user known as William Wallace 2K14 yielded some interesting finds in the form of potential new enemies. Among those finds were files related to a Ghoul Yaoguai, which by the way is different to the normal Yaoguai. I know a lot of people do get confused, as well as a texture map for a giant squid. Now this is very, very interesting stuff because there's a lot of things that do actually sort of pertain to this, one of which was the harpoon gun, a weapon that was seemingly cut from the game. I did actually make a video based on this, but this weapon was cut from the game and modders actually were able to put it back into the game, of course, and it wasn't really that great because it wasn't really modded correctly and stuff like that, but it had its own underwater animation, and it seems like this was used to go ahead and hunt down underwater creatures. To also back this up, the same guy who data mined the stuff that I showed you guys earlier also found a file named testunderwaterworld script.pex. And when opening up that in a notepad, there was a bunch of stuff relating to the harpoon gun, the ammo for the harpoon gun, and even power armor that was supposed to be used in the underwater areas. So this is very, very interesting. I mean, the fact that there's a file there known as testunderwaterworld script, and as many of you guys may know, at the current state of Fallout 4, the water is like barely ever used. There's pretty much barely anything in there apart from a few things that you can find here and there. So some pretty damn interesting stuff. Also want to quickly mention as well, in game, one of the NPC characters talks about a very mysterious gigantic ghoul whale, which was pretty interesting. I did make a completely different video on that. If you guys do want to check that out and research into that, you can check that out, linked down in the description down below. There's a lot of theories based on that and a lot of different things that are discussed within that video. But anyway, moving on to some more stuff about Far Harbor, let's take a look at the description that Bethesda gave themselves. It states, a new case from Valentine's Detective Agency leads you on a search for a young woman and a secret colony of synths. Of course, stating that pretty much the first objective that you have to do, you have to search for a woman and a secret colony of synths there. Travel off the coast of Maine to the mysterious island of Far Harbor, where levels of radiation have created a more feral world. Navigate through the growing conflict between the Synths, the Children of Atom, and the local townspeople, and will you work to bring peace to Far Harbor, and at what cost? Far Harbor features the largest landmass for an add-on that we've ever created, filled with new faction quests, settlements, lethal creatures and dungeons, and become more powerful with the new higher level armor and weapons, and the choices are all yours. Something else to mention here, which I probably should have mentioned at the start, which is the release date or release time, which is set to be released in May 2016, so it's really not too far away now. We're like, 16 days into April, so once again, not too far away now. I'm hoping that we probably see a little bit more info, maybe the trailer dropping in the first 10 to 15 days of May, and then of course shortly afterwards we'll know a little bit more about the official release date within that. But yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty damn awesome. The first objective there to of course go ahead and find this, this mysterious young woman and this secret colony of Synths. I'm very curious to see what that will be about, who this young woman's going to be, and what this secret colony of Synths is going to be. But I guess it is something that we will have to wait and see when the Far Harbor DLC does actually drop. And for the final part of the video today, I just wanted to kind of go over the in real life location of Far Harbor itself. For those of you who don't know yet, Far Harbor is based off a real life location known as Bar Harbor, which is basically on Mount Desert Island in Maine. I'll go ahead and bring up, the actual image of, Bar Harbor itself. And what's funny about this is that there was images floating around, and there's actual image, of course, on the artwork of Far Harbor, where you can see a boat going to a pier. And apparently this pier as well is also on Bar Harbor. You can actually see some images here of what this also looks like as well. So pretty interesting stuff there as well. Just some things to know, I guess, about Far Harbor in general. And this is pretty much everything we know so far about Far Harbor. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video today or did find it helpful. If you did and do want to see more videos similar to this in the future, be sure to let me know by leaving a like down below. You guys have been smashing the likes recently, 2,000 to 3,000 likes in the first 24 hours on some of the videos, so if we can try and hit that again, that would be crazy as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new around, and I'll catch you guys next time with a brand new video. Peace out.